same when they vote on the statewide budget in June.
Ella dice que ahora lo que necesitamos es que ellos sigan abogando en el presupuesto para que nos den el dinero.
So there's two budgets that's happening at the same time.
hay dos presupuestos que están pasando.
We have the state budget and then we have the city budget.
Ella dice que hay dos presupuestos que están pasando, el de la ciudad y el del estado.
And that may be a little confusing because one is dependent on the other.
Y dice que a lo mejor puede ser un poquito confuso porque uno depende de uno al otro. Pero, regresando aquí, si deciden cortar algo, ¿qué va a pasar? If all of a sudden, since they're in the process and they are, and you're expecting to get more, but all of a sudden, as we know in the state, something goes crazy and they cut, what will happen now then? Since you already put your budget.
Then we have to go back and we have to make what's called a mid-year budget adjustment.
Okay, so yo le pregunté qué pasa si ella que puso el presupuesto, dependiendo del dinero que ellos esperan y el Estado lo que han hablado, pero por casualidad hay un error o pasa algo donde el Estado le corta a ellos, ¿qué pasa? Ella dice que entonces hay que traer un presupuesto a medio plazo, hay que hacer un nuevo presupuesto durante el año.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ¿qué corte? Si fuera un corte, cuando estás hablando de un corte, ¿de qué cantidad te está hablando que la ciudad tuviera en problema? When you're talking about if the city, if they will have a cut, what is the amount of money that you know that it will put a sting on the city? Oh, how many millions?
$1.
Un peso. Oh, eso fue bien político. That was very political move right there. Me gustó eso. Un peso que baje le duele a la alcaldesa.
Well, there's no money to play with here.
No hay dinero para jugar aquí.
Every dollar that we have is allocated to something.
Y dice, cada dólar que ya se ha puesto está ya comprometido para algo.
And we get people all the time that say, oh, does the city have any extra money to spend on this or that? And we don't. But what we know is that we have to keep finding creative ways to make more money to be able to pay for all of the things that we want.
Cuando te dice que hay que buscar una forma creativa para poder pagar las cosas, ¿cómo te está hablando de ser creativa si no es subiendo los impuestos? When you say that you have to find more creative way, what do you mean?
Without raising taxes.
Without raising taxes or raising the taxes is the only creative way that we always see.
Well, right.
¿En qué forma, cuando usted quiere ser creativa en buscar la forma, los recursos para la ciudad, when you're trying to be creative, when Mary Airstone is sitting at her desk and say, te rascando la cabeza and you go, hay que buscar, ¿qué idea se le vienen? What are those ideas?
So I want to see if I can pull this up for you and find it right now.
Porque creo que te habló de una propuesta como de 36 formas.
So I did something different this year with my budget. And when I provided my budget to the city council, I also gave them another document.
Okay.
And I called it a budget addendum.
Sí.
And what it was, here it is. And I wrote a memo to the council members in here. And I said to them, as we're always looking for new ways to keep living in New Britain affordable while providing the essential services our residents need, I've come up with a variety of proposals that can generate meaningful revenue for the city budget. The time is now to get creative and serious about sustainability in our operations. So I gave 32 documents that will hopefully be a start in sparking a conversation about how to bring in more money without increasing the property tax burden on our residents. And so these things are just suggestions, and they're meant to challenge the city council with thinking about different ways that we can make money. So for the first thing, expand our meters downtown.
Expandirlo. Ok, ella está hablando de una de las formas de poder traer más dinero, expandir los meters que se ponen para los parqueos.
But also update them. They're old.
También suben. O te está hablando aquí cuando dice expandirlo, ¿qué calles llegarían los meters que no tienen ahora?
I don't. Which streets would you put them to?
Yeah.
No,
that was good translation.
I don't know. I'm tasking them to. They would be their responsibility to.
Eso será la responsabilidad. Porque una de las cosas que he visto el debate es que mucha gente han dicho que deben poner los meters en Broad Street, pero hay mucha gente que dicen que no deben poner los meters en el Broad Street. ¿A dónde está como alcaldesa en eso? I have seen on the blogs that many people have said why should they add the meters at Broad Street? And then there's a lot of other people said they shouldn't. I mean, where you stand as a mayor? If the council will vote on, if the council will take that proposal and they would include that, what would be your stand? Would you vote in favor or against it?
I think it would be up to seeing how much revenue you could generate off of it. How much you have to make sure that it would be a benefit.
Right.
How much would it cost to put in all those new meters? Versus how much would you make off of them? My idea was to put a parking garage on Broad Street. There's a piece of property that the city owns on the corner of Broad and Beaver, and it's an awkward corner. But if we were able to put a parking garage there and charge parking at the garage, we would be able to make a significant amount of money. But again, it costs money to build it. So how would we offset? Again, these items are just to spark a conversation about ways that we could make more money. But listen, we also have all the meters that are already existing that are broken. They don't work.
Oh, wow.
We can't collect anything on them because you can't fit a coin in it.
Sí, yo he estado en la ciudad, yo he ido al parking lot de la ciudad y trató de poner una peseta.
We have to fix,
hay que arreglarlo. Hay que arreglar lo que está roto.
We have to fix what we've got first and then talk about perhaps expansion. So I've got 32 of them here.
Dame lo más que traerían. Can you throw me the ones that would bring the big moolah?
Yes. A public safety service fee. There's a lot of, and we talked about this, I think, on the last show, a lot of places that do not pay taxes. We know that over half of all the properties in town don't pay taxes. But it's really, really expensive to run a fire department and a police department and not have everyone contributing to that. Even these places that don't pay taxes, they know that we will respond when you call 911. And so we're talking about the potential of instituting a public safety service fee.
Yeah, well, y hablando claro, usted está hablando de los non-profit. When we talk about here, you're talking about non-profit. ¿Cómo usted determinaría cuál sería el fee a estos non-profit, ya que algunos son más grandes que otros? How you would determine a fee, since you might have a small church compared to a big institution like CHMA? They have half a city in Britain. I shouldn't say half a city in Britain, but they do have a large property.
Yeah. Again, a theoretical question that I wouldn't have an answer to, because I'm asking the council to take on these tasks and research. We don't have the research for this. It's an idea that may work. Do you want to, if someone if there's no overhead, if there's no employees, do you want to give them a pass and perhaps go after organizations or nonprofits that make more than, $75,000 a year? That could happen. Again,
esto me preocupa mucho. This worries me a lot because a lot of the nonprofit and the difference when I look at it as the
but there could be a big difference between a nonprofit and a church.
And a church, exactamente.
Right.
Porque and I did question recently, I think it was Representative Sanchez when he was here. We have buildings like HRA, we have CHMA, we have all the organization that owns a lot of property in the city in the Brand, which they make profit, so-called profit, because the money's coming in, compared to, let's say, the church in downtown South Congregation Church. They've been 150 years there, providing to that community. Compared to they just have one church and provide a lot of service. They probably don't charge to those who charge. That I believe, if you're nonprofit and you're making money,
but South Church also makes a donation to the city every year.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about churches that have service. They provide service to the community for free and give. And they've been here for hundreds of years. They shouldn't be paying. That's what I'm saying. Compared to other services they have. They are nonprofit, but they provide. They have daycare centers. They're making money, or stuff like that.
It's all things to consider. Again, we're talking about ways that the city has to make more money in order to keep taxes down or stable.
Sí.
So another thing that we're talking about is a lot of internal operation changes. So the fire marshal's office, for example. Charging or creating what's known as a compliance engine. This is going to get really detailed really quick. So basically, if you have a sprinkler system in your building, we have to make sure that you're inspecting it on an annual basis. And if we do so, we can, and if you have that, we can charge you $25 or whatever per inspection.
I agree with that. Creo que una buena idea.
Right?
Because you know what? That was one of the questions that I asked concerning hospitals last time that the fire marshals were here. How often these buildings, they have multiple family getting, and they said they have very few people. They try to get around. Mm-hmm. But we should have, that would save thousands of dollars down the road.
Exactly.
If it don't burn down.
Yeah, exactly. Charging for plan review. The fire marshal's office has to review many different plans. We don't charge for those reviews. We should be charging people. There's a lot of things that we don't do.
So la ciudad se ha dado cuenta que tiene muchos servicios que están dando gratis.
Yes.
Que pueden cobrar. So so you see that there's a lot of other services that probably other towns are charging, but the city's doing it for free.
Here's a unique one. How about we sell advertising on city vehicles?
I think I saw that. What was one of the states that I went? I saw that. Ella dice cómo poner ciertos artículos en el carro, pero doesn't that become then a kind of a problem with interest that, hey, if the police go to stop that organization, they won't do it because they're advertising on the car?
No. Well,
conflicts of interest.
We would have to identify the types of vehicles that we would allow it on, and then figure out, what.
I'm trying to figure out where was I think was it Florida or Nebraska? Somewhere.
The state of Connecticut does this, and they sell advertising on their big dump trucks.
Okay.
So you'll see like a State Farm advertisement on a state of Connecticut truck.
Ella dice que poner ciertos anuncios en vehículos de la ciudad, anunciando esa organización por el dinero.
We could use that money to pay for our marketing campaign.
Eso puede ayudar para pagar el área de mercadeo de la ciudad.
Here's another thing. Real estate transactions. Talk about services the city gives for free. We're always linking up businesses with tenants, right? Sí. And if we were a real estate broker, we would be charging for that service. And we don't charge anything for it. So if you want to use the city services, perhaps we should be charging a fee, a brokerage fee.
Está bueno si usted va a comprar algo así y necesita el consejo de la ciudad, pagarle por eso. Creo que es una buena idea.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at another idea is expanding our license plate reader program on the back of of certain police vehicles.
Sí, ella está hablando ahora de que detrás de los carros de la policía hay como un radar para leer las tablillas.
If we were to add 1 or 2 more cars, we would be able to collect more on unpaid tickets.
Buena idea. Eso se usa. La alcaldesa dice que si se podría poner más en los vehículos de policía, se puede colectar más los tickets que no se pagan. And I believe they read taxes too, right? Yeah, you know what? That is a really good investment. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised we don't have more.
Right.
Pero ¿cuánto más o menos vale ese equipo? How much the equipment cost?
I don't know.
Okay.
All part of the research.
But that's we should have them all. Every corner. Yeah.
Here's another thing we don't charge for. If people think that they have a water leak at their house, we don't charge when we go out to investigate it for them.
Si usted tiene un liqueo en su agua, la ciudad no le cobra. But if the leaks, now now that you brought that up, but I know that the city encouraged people to buy the insurance.
Yes.
So if the city goes in there and there's a leak, automatically don't they shut down your house? And then somebody got to fix it.
The insurance will fix it.
Oh, el seguro lo paga.
But,
okay. But if they don't have that insurance, then the owner has to fix it, right?
Oh, yes. Okay. But, I mean, it's just their bill will run up and up because they're wasting water from the leak.
Oh, okay.
So,
see.
But when we go out there, they call us and ask us to do an inspection, and we don't charge for it. So all the time that we're paying employees to go out there to do this extra job, and we don't make anything from it.
Él dice que debemos cobrar la cosa. Ahí yo voy a tener un poquito de problema. I think we pay enough water bill to get a little service on that. But that's my opinion.
Our water rates are the cheapest in the state.
Oh, sí?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Por el sabor del agua vale la pena pagarlo. Just for having good water, okay, we're going to pay the fee. Because we do have excellent water.
Park rental fees. When we look at how much it costs to rent one of our parks or to rent a space for a food truck to park in one of our parks or to rent space for selling a product, we are well below the statewide average.
Okay.
We have to bring some of our fees up
a little
to
bit.
those averages. And it's nice to be able to be the cheapest, but we're not making enough money to justify the staff time it takes to coordinate a lot of these things.
I agree, because a lot of time when when people make a event in the city,
Yeah.
the price are average to everybody else, and people will pay for it. So why not
Yeah.
bring it in? I mean, it's gonna hurt the people who does festival, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, you get another.
But people are paying for it.
But
So
if you get another sponsor, there you go.
Yeah, go
right? We're talking about, okay, here you go. If we have so much city-owned property, and we're talking like little lots, right? Like we had a house on Tremont Street. The city owns an empty lot next to it, and we're never going to use that lot. We got to make a commitment to sell off this unnecessary property that the city has.
ella dice vender muchas propiedades que la ciudad tiene que no está usando.
And it's just little pieces of land. It's not even, an eighth of an acre.
Okay.
Why do
Son
we have
chiquititas.
those things?
Él no sabe si es menos de un octavo de una cuerda, ¿para qué tenerlo?
So if we made a commitment to sell that off, we could make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Si hace el compromiso de venderlo. Pero alcaldesa, en esta área también hay que tener, yo diría, mi opinión, my 2 cents here, de si muchas de estas propiedades que tiene la ciudad se venden baratas y la persona la compra, ahora mismo no se está pagando impuestos de eso, o te van a cobrar impuestos. If some of this property they sell it cheap, then it goes in the tax bracket, because you guys are not getting tax revenue.
Correct.
And make money out of it.
Exactly. Here's one that could be controversial.
Esta va a ser controversial. Let's see. let me take my medication now. Hold on.
No, it's not too bad, but
Okay.
it could be controversial for larger property owners.
Okay.
Most other towns, all right, the cost that we pay to get rid of our trash is skyrocketing next year.
El costo de sacar la basura, eso. I'm glad you. Okay, go ahead, because I heard Hartford talking about that.
Yes, skyrocketing. So
Okay, so they were right.
if we were to eliminate trash pickup for houses that are larger than a 3-family, and if you have larger than a 3-family house, you have to get your own dumpster or pay for your own trash service, the city could save almost over $300,000 a year.
Oh, hold on here. Ella está hablando de que hay una proposición de que las casas que tienen familias de tres familias o más, debe de la ciudad recogerle la basura, que el dueño tenga su propio zafacón donde recogen. ¿Cuánto te dijo que se ahorraría la ciudad? How much you said the city would save?
Almost $300,000 a year.
La ciudad se puede ahorrar sobre $300,000 al año.
That's a lot. But there's good and bad to that idea too.
Sí.
Right?
Sí, eso yo le voy a decir porque ahora mismo tenemos muchos landlords que no son buenos, como que tenemos inquilinos que no son buenos, as we have tenants that are no, they're no buenos.
So I believe right now, if you have over a 6-family house, you have to get a dumpster.
Ahora ella dice, ella se cree que algunos de los edificios que tienen 6 familias o más necesitan tener sus propios zafacones.
So, I mean, the larger complexes really wouldn't be affected. They already have dumpsters.
Esto no le afectaría a las organizaciones grandes, sino a las organizaciones que tienen
But,
3 familias.
Your 4, 5, and 6-family homes would have to get their own trash or get a dumpster.
Pero las veces, y tú sabes que yo me he dado cuenta también que muchos de los negocios tienen sus zafacones de la ciudad, porque I notice a lot of the businesses also have city garbage cans in front of their businesses.
It would be something to consider as well. Again, an idea to how to save money.
Eso es una de las formas. Esa va a ser controversial.
Yeah.
That's going to be controversial.
And I think, you know what, a lot of these items will be controversial, but the point is that
pero tiene muchas ciudades pagan por sus zafacones. My father pays for the trash to be picked up and brought in at a house, a regular house.
Yeah, things need to change. If we were able to make the budget work this year with no tax increase, when we're thinking about future years, we have to think about doing things differently.
Alcaldesa, ese es otro problema. Que tengo. This is another problem. Nunca durante las elecciones suben los impuestos, siempre suben después de las elecciones. They never raise taxes during election. I don't think ningún político inteligente va a subir impuestos durante los impuestos. Well, you did one time, which is just a little bit, pero no creo que va a ser ahora. Well, for homeowners still a lot. Pero quiere decir que si este año le dimos a Pedro, mañana le vamos a quitar a Pablo. So that means we gave Peter today, so that means we're going to take it away from Paul next year. And taxes going up?
It could be. It depends on your increase in costs, which I don't know right now.
Usted dijo, creo que usted está dando 2% más en el presupuesto. The budget went up 2% more from last year?
Yes.
Am I right on this? Okay. Noté algo. I noticed something here on the budget, or the article said the city was the part of the budget was $500,000 on overtime costs. ¿Qué departamento fue este? Which department was that was under $500 million, $500,000 in overtime?
The fire department.
¿O el departamento?
Mm-hmm.
Pues vamos a coger a Chief Ortiz por las orejas entonces. We have to take. ¿Cómo algo se sale de control así? How something out of this get out of control then?
It always is, because it's the structure of their schedule and how many people call out sick and take vacations. And whenever you have somebody that uses their time, you have to fill in overtime.
Sí.
And so there's always that void. We were down a lot of firefighters for quite some time. If you remember this past year, we just hired 8 new ones.
Sí.
So that will help with this cost, but it still won't.
Y esto es $500,000 por un año.
Sí.
$500,000 for 1 year.
1 year.
Sí, pero creo que esto ha sido un problema continuamente, because si no me recuerdo, if my mind is correct, a couple years ago, como 2 años atrás, 2 años y medio, me recuerdo estar en el concilio y estaban pidiendo $400,000 para overtime. A couple years ago, they were asking for $400,000 for overtime at that time.
Yes, and the chief at the time went in front of the city council and he had to ask for more money because he had run out.
Me recuerdo, yo estaba ahí. I was there.
Yeah.
So, quiere decir que esto ha sido un problema que sigue. If it was done for the first time, then I said, okay, we got to talk to Chief Ortiz. We should talk to Chief Ortiz. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that the previous year it had been a continuous problem. ¿Será porque no tenemos suficientes bomberos? Is it because we don't have enough firemen?
We have enough. Again, it's just the schedule that they have, the contract that they have, and having to fill all of those positions. Having the additional firefighters that we have now, like I said, that will help get this number down.
Pero para el año que viene, pero no para este año. But that would you say those numbers will reduce for next year? But does it going to help the $500,000 the $500,000
for next year?
Yeah,
for next year.
So that will help before, but not for this year.
This year we're okay. That's for next year.
Oh, that's for next year.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Anticipated cost for next year, based off of what we're seeing from this year.
¿Qué a usted le gustaría ver? Me imagino como la alcaldesa, que está buscando forma creativa. As the mayor looking for creative. Esto es un problema. This is a problem. ¿Qué a usted le gustaría ver diferente en el departamento de bomberos? What would you like to see different in the fire department? Since this is a continuous problem. This is not something that just happened now. From what I have witnessed in the council, algo que sigue pasando. Every seems like every year they're short on money. Esto pasa con la policía. Does this happen with the police department?
Yeah.
Esto pasa con ¿cuántos departamentos tiene usted en la ciudad? How many departments do we have in the city of New Brainer?
How many departments?
Or agency, roughly.
Maybe a dozen.
Okay, vamos a suponer que hay docenas. Vamos a suponer más o menos. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
¿Usted tiene esta clase de problemas con los demás departamentos? Do you have this problem with the other departments?
No. But in fairness, the fire department also...
I love the fire department.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. Pero $500,000 es un problema.
This is why I'm saying about the public safety service fee that is an option to help pay for some of these things. This is reality. You know, we have to have firefighters that are on staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They make a lot more money than our average employees.
Y se lo merecen. And they deserve it.
They make a lot more money. There's a lot more of them. You know, there's 126 firefighters. So it's more than... It's not our largest department, but it's second to largest.
Pero ¿cuál es el más grande de la policía? The police officer.
Yeah.
Y no tienen este problema. Y trabajan 24/7 and they work 24/7.
Yeah.
¿Qué a usted le gustaría ver diferente?
And
What
you
would
know
you like
what,
to see
Carmelo,
different here?
I think a lot of it too is management or lack thereof.
Okay.
And we're talking about Chief Ortiz, who's been here for a year,
Sí.
and he can't fix everything overnight.
No. Sí.
And one of the main concerns in contract negotiations, which we're in with them right now, and I can't get too deep into the weeds on that, just is the amount of money that it costs with the amount of time that people take off and how we have to backfill that.
Okay.
And I think that it just has to become a reality that this increase
Sí.
needs to, that is the increase that is in the fire department budget, whether we like it or not. This is what it costs to keep that fire department going.
Sí.
And it's very frustrating. However, I think that I have confidence that the chief is working on different procedures and different ways of saving money here and there. And hopefully with the contract that we're negotiating right now, we'll save a little bit by not having people take so many days off.
Qué bueno, porque as a matter of fact, he's the first interview in May. Es la primera entrevista con el jefe Ortiz.
Yeah.
Me preocupa porque para eso se le paga también al... La silla aquí se pone caliente para todo el mundo. The hot seat is for everyone here.
Yeah.
I take my seat too. Pero para eso se le paga una cantidad a lo administrativo para reducirle estas casas. That's why we pay, chiefs and administrative to come up with creative way to figure this out. Porque $500,000. La última vez te dijo aquí que no había dinero. Last time you were here, you said there's no extra money for nothing.
No.
So, I mean, when we get hit with $500,000, y no quiero decir apoyo a los bomberos, porque son gente que trabajan y salvan la vida de nuestra ciudad. And I'm a strong supporter. They know when they leave home. They don't know when they come back. Because they are, like I always tell them, I see smoke, I'm running out. They run in. Pero esto es un problema serio que qué bueno que hablamos de eso, porque cuando venga Chief, le tengo más preguntas. When Chief comes, then él va a saber. ¿Cómo está el sistema de la policía con la nueva administrativa? How we doing? How's the police department doing with the new administration?
Very good. And still, adjusting. Things are different. It's only been a month.
Sí.
But they're doing well, and Chief Shu is doing a great job. He's trying his best to be at as many community events as possible.
Yo lo veo donde quiera. I see him in every corner.
Yeah, just to get out there and introduce himself to everybody. And we are in the process of hiring a deputy chief right now.
Qué bueno.
Jeanette Porter-Latin is still our acting deputy chief, but we're currently in the application process to hire a permanent deputy chief.
So estamos en el proceso. Lo de la demanda que había contra la policía, ¿cómo va eso? The whole lawsuit that they had against the city and the police department. No se ha escuchado mucho, está calladito. We like that. ¿Qué ha pasado? We noticed that the whole city the lawsuit against the police department, the city's kind of quiet. We kind of like that. But todavía está activo. Is that still active?
I don't know which lawsuit you're talking about. We have a lot of them.
The last one with the shootout, the police.
I have not heard an update, so I don't know.
Well, you know what? Lo queremos así. Hablando de dinero y situaciones que están pasando, talking about money and all the situation we have in the budget. We have the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus coming Saturday, May 4, to the City of New Brand Open Forum.
Special day. It's my birthday.
¿Verdad? Ese día, el día que usted no va a estar.
I won't be there.
No, we won't there. Pero ¿qué mensaje le gustaría que yo voy a estar ahí? Yo y la comunidad, New Brand Latino Coalition and the church is going there because they're against the marijuana bill and they're against the tolls. ¿Qué de los asuntos que están pasando en el estado, qué mensaje le gustaría dar a ellos? With all the topics and things that are going in the state, what message you would like to give them?
The cities are important.
Las ciudades son importantes.
And the cities are important to continue to help. I think it's very difficult at the legislature because there's so many legislators that come from suburban areas that the urban voice is often pushed down.
Sí, como que se ahoga, they just drown it.
And I think that if our urban legislators really band together, stay together, their voice will be louder. And we'll be able to maintain the amount of state support for services that we need, that no one in the suburbs really knows exists. Because listen, I talked about this in my State of the City address. When people need services, where do they come? New Britain.
New Britain.
Or Hartford, or New Haven, or
Sí.
Waterbury. They're not going, to Berlin, Southington, Newington, for those types of services that are all in our urban areas. So if it's one thing I can encourage them is to stick together, have a unified voice, and support for our cities, and making sure that that's always at a top priority, because the people in our state that need help the most and need most assistance are in our cities.
Cuando te dice que se vengan unidos, o te está hablando que se unan unidos para tener los peajes, when you say for them to come together with different things to help urbans, are you saying tolls for the cities?
No, no way. Nobody wants that.
Ya que estoy hablando acerca de eso, la policía, hablé con la policía. I spoke to the police department, and I spoke to the board of education. They're planning to have sent representative from the department. They're concerned with the marijuana bill.
Yeah.
¿Qué usted diría acerca de eso? What is your stand on that?
It's very concerning. Let me tell you something. It's hard to have an opinion on something that is written and then rewritten and then written a different way every single time that you see it. Okay. It's a question of what is it? Everyone says, oh, well, we're going to legalize marijuana. Well, then they backtrack and then they say, oh, well, you can only have, we're just decriminalizing it. So you can have your own, doesn't matter where you buy it from. Oh, well, then they talk and they say that, well, the state's going to regulate it, but we don't know how.
Right.
There's so many different questions that rise on how does this even, first off, until there's a concrete plan, it's impossible for any legislator to have an opinion, yes or no, unless you're in theory, morally, and right. Which I know as well, a lot of the churches are saying that they're just against it altogether. And I think the police department too, just against it altogether, because how do you...
But in the educators...
Of course, because you're telling kids that it's okay to smoke pot when forever we've been telling them to say no to drugs. It's a question on all. Listen, I understand and I see all sides of it. I don't get a vote on it. I'm going to have to make work whatever the state tells me is what's happening. Okay. So we're talking about at the city level, how do you plan for that? And we've already had meetings with the police department. We were sitting around thinking, well, if this does happen, how do we adapt and how do we plan for this? Is there going to be an influx of stores that want to open up here? How can we regulate that and control that locally? We've been looking a lot in preparation if it does happen at Massachusetts and Rhode Island's laws, and just trying to take, bits and pieces, because another piece that this is what's so frustrating at the state is that this time of year, there's so many ideas that get thrown at the wall, right? And they put it all out there, and you never know what is truth. You never know what will pass, and you never know what will fail, but you have to plan. And it's just like with the state budget, right? We're got to plan for the state budget, not knowing what will pass and if it won't. So I think as long as we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot more voices against it right now that are for it, and I think it's historically been like that. So I don't think that it will pass, but if it does, it's going to be my job to figure out how to adapt.
Well, yeah. Well, that's going to be. It's funny. I got the 4 bills on my desk over there.
That's it. There's only 4 left.
Well, out of 5, out of 5, one passed. I got 4 there, and the finance supposed to talk about the main one, because one have to deal with another one. But sitting down with the chief, there's a great concern from testifying at the Capitol and hearing the physician speak. Not the politician. That opened my mind.
Do you know what concerns me is you can't test for it. So
exactly.
like if you get pulled over and you're high, sure, we can see that your eyes are red and we can tell that you're a little impaired. But the only way that I can test you for that is if I take a blood test.
Right. And no one's going to give the blood. Now, the concern that it's funny that I opened this here, because the state wants the city's police department to be trained. Who's paying for that?
Good question.
So those are the extra concerns there. So I'm glad that we bring it because
to be trained on what? How to tell if someone's high or not.
Right. And
I mean, it's just crazy.
My main concern is going to be mostly on the education, since we got 4.5 kids vaping now, mixing it up. We know that in our school system, we already have kids smoking pot and taking the edible items, which is going to kill our children. So for me, it's like, the community faith right now, not only they are fighting, I was supposed to be there at 10 o'clock this morning, I couldn't get there, but they're fighting over it, but they're also preparing what's going to happen in the cities, because we know it's a roller coaster that is going to affect the communities.
It already is. And when you look at the impact that, drugs has in inner cities as opposed to, suburban areas, don't get me wrong, there's issues everywhere. However, you're elevating an issue. And listen, pick one thing or the other. Are you going to do tolls or are you going to do marijuana? Can we just pick one this year and stick with it and back off the other one?
Well, I'm hoping they both get dropped, because you know what?
My God.
I heard the lady that lost her on the shootout they had in New Haven.
Yeah.
She came out today and she said, where's the job training? Where are we talking about education? Where are we talking about helping after school program? The items that affect the community every day, the inner people. We're not talking, we don't
inner
hear
cities.
Yeah, we don't hear the politicians talking about on the higher level. We're not talking about how they're going to help them out.
You know why?
What?
Because they don't know. Because like I said, a majority of the legislators that were represented in Hartford are not from urban areas. They don't understand.
Well, 100%. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they go by a lot of the lobbyists. I was in Waterbury, and they told me, when I told them I was against the tolls, they said that there's a revenue of $800,000 to $1 billion. And I told them that I was not good at math, but 1 + 1 is 2. If they didn't know how many tolls and how much it's going to cost, how can they figure? And they told me they're in the works. And I asked them again, how you know the revenue if you don't know how many tolls and how much they're going to cost?
So now here's the problem with that. And this is where it talks about the Special Transportation Fund. It's called the STF. And that's what this argument is all about. And they can't figure out ways to keep money in the Special Transportation Fund to keep paving roads and fixing bridges, because the legislature keeps taking the money from it every year.
Meten la mano in the cookie yard.
Right. So you don't need tolls. Stop spending the money that was already put in there. If you just didn't allow them to touch it, they talk about this transportation lockbox.
Sí.
It's the lockbox that doesn't lock.
That doesn't lock. They keep putting their hands on it.
And they can still keep it. But listen, when you want to talk about getting creative with government, the state has to do the same thing of what we just talked about for the first 20 minutes in this show.
Yeah.
Finding creative ways to generate more revenue. Okay.
Para que la gente se queden, so people could stay in the state of Connecticut.
Right, but you've got to get creative. You have to think outside the box. And tolls, just to put this out there, you're not going to collect $1 on tolls until the first 5 years of having them in, because they have to pay for themselves first.
And I heard that I don't know if the number was. I believe that they already owe is either Rhode Island or Massachusetts. It's a $20 million. They going after people for over $20 million that people owe them on tolls.
Oh, really?
So it's not like the revenue.
Surprised.
So it's not like the revenue's coming in, because not everyone pays for the tolls. So I just can't remember if it was Mass or Rhode Island, but one of them put out there was $20 million that they have not collected on tolls. Now, in other areas in here, que bueno, hemos podido tocar un poquito. We had talked a little bit about everything here. Yeah. Smalley School.
Yeah.
La superintendente de la escuela dijo que este año en septiembre comienzan los estudiantes. Superintendent school Nancy Sarah said, I guess in September the kids go back to school this year.
Yeah.
Me quedé sorprendido que ella dijo que la escuela, el building es más pequeño. I was surprised that she said that the building is smaller than what was originally said. I know I have a blueprint that it was supposed to be 101,000 square feet. What was the square feet, and what is the new measurement, and what was the change with the school?
Oh, I would have to research that for you, because I don't have that off the top of my head. But I'm not sure where she's talking about how it's smaller. It's I have no idea where she's coming from with that.
Because it couldn't be 20% more or was originally, but when I told her the square feet to what was original, the school was like half of the amount bigger.
We can get you the latest school building project reports.
También sé que el costo fue menos. Now I know that the cost was less of the original amount. How much less was from the time that the bond was put on for that school?
About $5 million less.
So, la ciudad se ahorró, o el estado se ahorró? Did the city save that money?
The city.
Okay.
So pretty much what happens is the city has to pay everything forward.
Okay,
So it's
right.
about a $45 million project. The city has to put all of that money forward on our bonding, on our credit card.
Right.
And then once the project is completed, and only after the project is completed, then we can apply for the reimbursement from the state.
Of the original amount.
Of the original amount,
Pero si
right.
costó menos, but if it costs less and you says $5 million less,
Yep.
¿qué pasa con ese dinero? ¿Entra a la educación o entra a la ciudad? If you bonded for $40 million and the project came out to $35 million, so that money goes into education or it goes into the city?
It goes back to the bonding authority. We don't spend it.
So ese dinero no viene a la ciudad?
It doesn't exist
No,
anymore.
okay.
We didn't spend it, so we give it back and it gets taken off of our books.
¿Cuánta cantidad la ciudad, when you bond the money, when you did this, when the school reimbursed them, isn't there like a 80 to 20%? The city pays 80%,
Yep.
and I mean the state pays.
The state
80%.
pays 80, the city pays 20%.
So ese dinero viene primero o después, so the money comes. So that means that the city put it first,
Yep.
and then the state pay you on the on what you spend.
Correct.
So los 5 millones que se ahorraron nunca llegaron. That means that if you say $5 million, that $5 million never that money.
It goes away. It goes right back to we take it right off the credit. It goes back to the credit agency. Put it that way.
Oh,
So
okay.
we don't have to pay on it. We didn't spend it. They take it back.
Oh, okay, está bien. Yo estaba pensando que el Estado le da los $40 millones y ustedes los pagaban. I thought that the state would give you the $40 million, and then
No,
if it's less, well, then you work with the money there.
So we have to provide all of the receipts. And sometimes, listen, we just got reimbursed for, remember when Gaffney was done? We just got the full reimbursement for that last year. So, and that was almost four years it takes.
Yeah.
So the city has to hold on to a $45 million price tag for a long time. And we're paying on that year
Yeah.
after year.
Yo escuché que hace poco el Estado le mandó el dinero del monumento. I heard that recently.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
owe that money and they just got it recently.
Yes. So we do have to hold on to it. So it costs us. We're still paying.
Right.
But it's good. And we're happy that the project is coming in under budget and it's going to be on time. And for September, the kids will have a new school.
Hablando de educación, la superintendente de escuela comentó que no recibió más dinero, pero usted dijo que dio más dinero. The superintendent school was here, and on the budget you presented that they received more money, but she pretty much stated they didn't get more money. The money that you guys gave, though, was the money that you guys owed her.
They're receiving more money this year.
Ella dijo que era
Next year.
3.4 millones.
They are receiving more money. The Board of Education and I, and the superintendent knows this, we had an agreement about a grant that would go directly to them next year and the year after that and forever. And that was our agreement. That's millions of dollars that will go to them. They're also receiving more money from the education cost sharing grant, which we received final word on when I was in the middle of doing my budget. So we got to increase their grant number from the state on that side. So when all is said and done, the board's going to be receiving a significant amount more money. I don't have it exactly in front of me right now.
Yo sé que el Estado, yo sé que el representante Sánchez estaba diciendo aquí,
It's
creo que era
about $7.1 million.
sí, estaba muy contento que pudo darle a las ciudades más dinero. Representative Sánchez said that he fought very hard to provide more, to the Board of Education.
Well, we're really
You know.
grateful that the governor increased, and this is before him being chair of education. This is Governor Malloy. And so what happened 2 years ago was they started rewriting the education cost sharing formula. And if you remember, the city of New Britain was part of that CJEF lawsuit, which was fighting
Yes.
for fair funding and equitable funding in education. And we lost that lawsuit. However, what came out of it was a partnership with an organization called the Connecticut School Finance Project. And they were tasked with rewriting the education cost sharing grant formula for Governor Malloy. And this was, remember last year, 2 years ago, when all of the cities and towns were very upset because they were receiving a significant amount less in that education money? Well, it's because of the work that was done and passed by the legislature to rework that formula. This will be the first year that New Britain is seeing that increased benefit.
And bajo el nuevo bracket, it's like a new.
Yep. And so that automatically jumps over almost $5 million. And the city is going to receive I think it's about $4.9 million every year for the next 9 years.
Sí.
It's a lot of money.
Sí, sí.
And we're really grateful. And if you talk to Superintendent Sarah, she'll tell you now she needs, only $30 million a year more.
Sí, veo que todavía no hay como una relación amigable aquí. I don't see an amicable relationship here.
It's just fine. Listen, it's gotten much better. We're communicating, and that's what's most important. But here, when you're an advocate or when you work for a public education system, there's never going to be enough money that will please you. Right? And I know that as a former member of the Board of Ed. It doesn't matter what you get, it's not enough. Right? And everyone will always say, it's for the kids. Yes, and of course. And we all love our kids. We want them to succeed. But when you just don't have, the money bags to throw at the problem, again, you've got to find other ways to do it. So now...
ella pidió muchos millones de dólares.
With $7.1 million next year is a lot of money that they're receiving. Now, remind you, the Board of Education asked for $5 million to meet their contractual obligations. So they're receiving additional money on top of that for next year as well. So I hope that it's spent wisely.
Cuando ella dice que no le dan, este es el problema, alcaldesa. This is the problem. Usted dice que le da, ella dice que no le dan. Ella dice que no le dan, usted dice que le da. It becomes who gives what, who doesn't give what. She said she don't get. You said she got them. The state tell them that they got them. They didn't give. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
Well, those are facts.
Yeah.
No, Carmelo, those are facts.
No.
Because you can look in the state budget
No estoy de acuerdo con usted. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying what she states, what you state, what the state states, and I'm just trying to figure out in the middle that numbers are numbers and which numbers are right.
Mine are.
Okay.
And that's what they're getting. And I can tell you that, and you can fact check me all you want. Yeah. But that's in the state budget. That's in the city budget. Those are numbers that they're getting. What you're not going to see is a lot more complicated than that. And if you want to get in the details on it, I will. Okay. What's called the minimum budget requirement. She's not seeing an increase in the city minimum budget requirement. That doesn't mean that she's not seeing an increase altogether. So the amount of money that the city passes on in tax dollars to the Board of Education, the tax dollar portion of local resident contributions remains the same. Exactly. The increase in grants is increasing by $7.1 million. That's still an increase in what they can spend money on. Right. It's just not coming from the taxpayer.
So es dinero que viene de afuera y viene del Estado.
It's coming from the taxpayer with your state taxes or your federal taxes, but it's not coming from your City of New Britain local tax bill.
That's exactly what I just translated.
Yes.
La alcaldesa es majito. I can sense la alcaldesa está un poquito agita. Cálmase.
I'm fine. It's just, listen, like I said, there's some people you can give them $5 and they'll want 10, and that's fine. And everyone will say that when they're advocating for their cause. But when my job is to make sure that your taxes are kept low, that you can afford to live here.
Y eso fue que lo que yo pregunté, que cómo íbamos a hacer para reducir los .50 dinero cuando otras personas estaban pidiendo. The question that I asked her, how are we going to do when we have a high mill rate and other people want it? Let's take a call. Ajá, hacia adelante. 96.9 FM.
Qué bien, 97.9. Mi opinión en esto de los taxes ya es demasiado alto. Okay. Para que vengan a poner más taxes aquí en Hartford está demasiado. Mientras tanto otros...
Pero estamos hablando de la ciudad de New Britain. Estamos hablando de la ciudad de New Britain y la alcaldesa nos dijo que iba a subir los impuestos de la ciudad de New Britain.
Sí, demasiado. Sea en New Britain, sea en Hartford, es demasiado ya. Para la calidad de vida que nos están dando, no limpian bien las calles, no recogen bien las basuras, es un desorden total. Si lo hacen bonito para otros pueblos, ¿por qué no lo hacen también bonito para nosotros? Entonces vienen a hablar para subir los taxes. Mientras tanto, todo está muy cochino. Okay. Hay vidrios por todas partes. Cuando un tro pasa de basura a recoger, a limpiar, la calle toda queda manchada y no está bien limpiada para nada. Deben de mantener esos troces más limpios. Si lo hacen para los otros pueblos que supuestamente yo viajo, soy una TCA, yo viajo para otros pueblos y yo veo que las calles están espectacularmente bellezas y nosotros estamos casi siempre pagando taxes y no nos dan la misma calidad de vida que nosotros nos merecemos como humanos.
Ok, déjeme
Muchas
traducirle.
gracias.
Muchas gracias, déjame traducirle. Okay, she's saying that she was comparing Hartford and Brand, which is apples and oranges.
Yeah.
But she was saying that in order, when people raise taxes, they should have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
One of the complaints she has a lot of times, the garbage company comes and pick up garbage, but leave garbage behind, or the garbage, the garbage trucks are a little bit off, or the roads that have broken glass and garbage in the ground and stuff like that. But I might have to dispute that because in you can see that a lot in Hartford, but you don't see a lot of that in New Britain.
Yeah, well, and if it's a big concern, it's not the city that picks up our garbage either. You'd have to call CWPM. That's the company that we contract with a third party contractor for that. And you can always call and file a complaint with them. But it also comes with too, if you're filling your garbage can the right way, you're not going to see that. You're supposed to put items in bags and then put the bags in the...
And make sure the lid is closed. So when he picks it up, he picks it up. Now, alcaldesa, since I passed my time here, the last one, usted anunció que va a correr. ¿Cómo está la campaña? You announced that you're running again. Buenas noticias. Estamos contentos. We're happy. ¿Qué hay nuevo para esta nueva faceta de su campaña? What is new for the next 2 years that you're coming?
Well, I hope, we had a great kickoff event last week, and we had probably over 250 people that came to my first fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And it was wonderful, and we talked about in my speech just all of the great things we've been able to accomplish and how much more we have to do. It always surprises me, how when we go back and we look at how many projects we've been able to complete, and there's a lot more that has to be done. I'm not ready to leave yet. I can't leave in the middle of it's a great transformation that's happening right now, and I just don't think that the time to change leadership is not now. And I think now more than ever, we need good leadership at City Hall. We have had some struggles in the last couple of years, especially with our city council.
Sí.
And I think that we need good, strong management. And now is not the time to change course.
Yo vi una foto de suya, de su equipo, gente que son bien reconocidos. Habrá gente que usted puede anunciar que va a correr ahora con usted. I said, on your picture of your big celebration, I saw some big names and famous people within there. Are there people that you could say they confirm or not confirm they're going to run on your slate now?
I wish I could, but I can tell you the aldermen that are going to run for re-election. Danny Salerno, Christian Rosado, Willie Pabon, Alderman Bobby Smedley. They're running for re-election.
Okay.
The other ones I can't tell until we discuss it with the town committee first.
Okay.
But it will be coming out soon.
Porque vi unos personajes ahí que la gente están súper contentos. There's people that said that my phone was off the hook. Is this the team? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
We will be announcing it soon, and we're still looking for some candidates.
Okay.
We still have some spots that we're looking for the right people for. But
si alguien quiere correr en su slate, que lo que tiene que hacer es llamarlo a usted. If someone wants to run in the slate for whatever the position that might be open, all they have to do is just call you.
Yeah. Call me, express interest.
Expresar su interés. Si usted quisiera correr en la misma carrera de la alcaldesa, porque me imagino que solamente son áreas específicas, there's specific slates.
We have an interview committee.
Ajá, ella tiene un comité de entrevistas si usted quisiera coger con la alcaldesa.
And just give me a call.
No en contra de la alcaldesa, con la alcaldesa. Those who want to run with her, not against her.
Yes, only those who want to run with me. But it's exciting. We're looking forward to the campaign this summer and looking forward to bringing a positive message. There's a lot of negativity out there. Whew. There's a lot of negative people out there. We got to start talking more positively about our city and bring a good energetic message and a message for positivity and that all the changes that we're making is good.
Usted tiene razón, porque al lado mío no pueden hablar mal de New Britain. Next to me, they can't talk bad about New Britain because my family knows. Well, my family doesn't. My family always brags just like me. But anybody that comes anywhere to talk about New Britain, I tell them, when was the last time you walked into New Britain? And it's usually that some of the insight, because people come, you'd be surprised, so many people, family and people come into New Britain and they just go, wow, they want to eat in New Britain, they want to see in New Britain, they want to walk around, they want to be in our park. Sometimes people just don't appreciate what they have because they have it every day.
Yes.
You know, so.
Right. Or you don't see it or you don't notice it, right?
Well, if you don't see, you got to be blind, to be honest,
Well,
a Merit store, because the parks, the construction is new.
I appreciate that. We just released our new video. Promotion, the marketing video.
Perfecto, me gustó mucho.
It was beautiful, and it highlighted Criollissimo. It highlighted the New Britain Museum of American Art, the Bees, one of our breweries. Just a little snapshot of all that New Britain has to offer, and it's really nice to see those things in our city.
Me gustó, me fascinó. Creo algo muy creativo. Creo, it was very creative, very nice. Yeah. Hopefully we get all the, I can only imagine as you go on, more other parts are going to make. It's just fantastic. You can't put everything in one video.
No, you can't.
You know?
It was only 45 seconds.
Yeah, no, and the thing is to continue the people on. Let me just take one last call, if you don't mind. Hacia adelante.
Carmelito, ya te diga, ¿cómo está?
Amén, bien, hacia adelante. ¿Cuál es la pregunta?
Luis.
Sí, hacia adelante.
Sí, quiero darle las gracias a la alcaldesa por el trabajo tan ordinario, tan lindo que ella ha impulsado aquí en Nubrita. Alguien habló un poquito más de Nubrita y me dio corajito y se lo dije. Nubrita no es otro pueblito por ahí que está abandonado. Nubrita ha sido renovado. A cada momento lo estoy viendo.
Así es.
Renovado, muy bonito.
Así me gusta. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much.
Y le doy un 10 a la alcaldesa. Siempre hablo bien de ella.
Un 10.
Cuando alguien se pone a decir algo, yo no. Es un buen trabajo y es una amiga de la comunidad. Así que adelante, alcaldesa. Dios le bendiga y adelante siempre.
Amén. Gracias.
Thank you.
He said he gives you a 10. He said thank you that in front of him people can't talk about New Britain bad about either.
All right.
He appreciated the work you had done, and he said that you are the friend of the community.
Thank you so much, Luis. Thank you.
Gracias, alcaldesa, por estar con nosotros. En Carmelo y el pueblo, uno nunca sabe qué va a pasar. You never know what's going to happen in Carmelo y el pueblo.
Thanks, Carmelo.
Pero aquí estamos entre familia. Le damos gracias a la alcaldesa por estar con nosotros. Esperamos tener más reportes y la gente que están con ella. I said, hopefully down the road we get updates of the campaign and those who are running.
Next month.
De la misma forma que a lo mejor van a venir las personas que quieren the same thing. There might be the people that some other people might be coming around who want to run against the mayor. Estamos aquí como siempre con Carmelo del Pueblo y como siempre. ¿Y ahora qué?
Llega con una aportación de las siguientes firmas.